Xiaotian, whose soul wears the new world, was commissioned to make the game. He decided to go directly to Genshin Impact. Unexpectedly, a time gap was opened, and the production process was broadcasted in parallel with Tivat and Blue Star. Parallel Tiwat. Pai Meng. What? I'm actually Amber. No problem, Captain Qin, Liyue called directly after watching the live broadcast. Funina. So Ville is hiding inside very quietly. I know you're at home. You actually killed Fucaros. Xiao. So you guys are still alive. Blue Star Netizens. Genshin Impact, I have passed the pass. The sword is killing me. Please do it again. My Little Auspicious Grass King 555, she's still so young, how could you come up with a screenwriter? I shouldn't have followed Parmon from the beginning. If I hadn't followed Parmon, I wouldn't have ended up with the destruction of the 7 gods. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Party A offers a price of 100 million yuan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mr. Yi, this is the cooperation intention contract provided by Party A. The secretary of the Black Silk Beauty handed a paper document to the young man in front of the luxurious desk. The young man is handsome and unrestrained, with a handsome face like the reader's master. The handsome man's name is Xiaotian, and he traveled from the Blue Star Soul to this parallel universe. Because I learned programming at Blue Star, Xiaotian utilized his knowledge and information gap to thrive in the new world. Now he is the CEO of a leading game planning company in the new world. The game he personally designed consistently dominates various platforms and earns a lot of money. Xiaotian received the materials handed over by the secretary of the Black Silk Beauty. This is a cooperation intention contract provided by a well-known game design company in China. What is their collaboration content? Mr. Yi, they sincerely entrust you to design an open-world game script. How much did they bid? 1 billion. Xiaotian reviewed the signed contract. Feilu Network Technology Company, Limited. I don't like the company name. Let them change their name and offer too little, at least double it. After speaking, throw the contract into the trash can. Half a month later, Xiaotian's office. Mr. Yi, these gifts are not respectful. Xiaotian looked at the young man with a tuft of white hair on his forehead before him and remained silent. The young man respectfully presented a document and said, Mr. Yi, this is a new cooperation intention contract. Would you like it? Are you what they call, Little Viagra? Yes, everyone calls me that. Just call me Xiao Wei. Has the company changed its name? We have made changes. Following your suggestion, we have changed from Mi Huyu to Mi Hayu. Is your company's previous product good, the Banghuan series? Hi. Netizens flatter me, you give me a thumbs up. In terms of quotation. 3 billion, do you think it's suitable, Mr. Yi? If it's not suitable, we'll add more. Let me design the game, but I have my own principles and conditions. Feel free to mention any conditions. My surname is Yi, and the 2 strongest characters in the game must both be related to Yi. Don't worry, Mr. Yi. In our game, there must be Yi Tiandi and Night Queen, and I will definitely let the engineers provide enough data. Xiaotian nodded and then paid his respects to Little Viagra. Little Viagra left the office with the secretary of the Black Silk Beauty, knowing his interests. Xiaotian opened his official laptop, thinking to myself, an open-world game. It's you. Xiaotian's nimble hands typed on the keyboard. A line of text appears in the game design document. Game name. Genshin Impact. Worldview. The game takes place in a fantasy world called Tivat Continent, where the chosen person by the gods will be granted the Eye of the Gods to guide the power of the elements. The player will play a mysterious role called Traveler, meet friends with different personalities and unique abilities in the free travel, defeat the strong enemy with them, and find the lost relatives. At the same time, gradually discover the truth of Genshin Impact. Ding! At the same time that Xiaotian played Genshin Impact, his original world, the Blue Star, surprisingly underwent something unusual. Blue Star's major video website platforms have simultaneously seen an unfamiliar live broadcast room. In the live broadcast room, the game screen designed by Xiaotian is currently playing. In Blue Star, Genshin Impact has long been finished. The ending is so tragic. It's too tragic. Terrifying. Despicable and inhumane. Many netizens have sent razor blades to the screenwriters. Seeing someone seem to be live streaming, the barrage is already boiling. What's the situation? Someone is playing with Genshin Impact. The Uplord seems to be remaking the Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact, I have passed the pass, please do it again. Right. Redo. My Little Auspicious Grass King 555, she's still so young, how could you come up with a screenwriter? I shouldn't have followed Parmon from the beginning. If I hadn't followed Parmon, I wouldn't have ended up with the destruction of the 7 gods. While Xiaotian is playing Genshin Impact, there have also been anomalies in the parallel Tivat continent. Surprisingly, a huge screen suddenly appeared in the sky. Above the screen, there is a live broadcast of the same world as parallel Tivat. Below the screen, scrolling bullet comments from Blue Star netizens. Mond, it's not good. Magic Dragon Tevelin has fought back. Qin. Gather the Shifeng Knights. Kaya, contact Yura, and the guerrilla team should quickly return to the city. The originally drunken bard is now sober, holding a harp and staring at the screen with a serious expression. However, within a few seconds, the bard's figure gradually blurred. Liyue, Ningguang said, bring the Chuanyu pavilion closer, I want to see what kind of divine it is. Qing said, she can't be Othello's second wife, can she? In the dense forest, the deceased cousin Qing, who was digging a pit beside the walnut, suddenly stopped his movements in his hand. Hu Tao. Kaching. Hey. Who is Kaching? Didn't I always be alone? Rice wife, your highness, the thunder god is angry again, isn't it? Yeo Shinko stood under the cherry tree and looked at the screen in the sky. The novel in hand was flipped by the wind carrying thunder and lightning. I'm sorry, sir. There's no such thing as a thunder god in this world. Little people are talking nonsense. Waha, is our equipment from the Aragoro faction already so advanced? What? It's not ours, Aragoro said Shimi, Xiao. Sano. Is this the ghost you caused? Say no. This is not a strong wind mechanism, what does it have to do with my strong wind disciplinary officer? Xiao. Naxida, give me a review. Everyone. Who is Naxida? Xiao. Tinari, you come and evaluate. Tinari. I don't want to talk. Dolly. How much does it cost to buy this? Feng Dan, Lord Novelette. Is this a new invention of the Maple Dan Academy of Sciences? Neville Wright. Whatever it is, Shavol, go stop Funina and the others. Charlotte. Sir, I'm sorry, Miss Funina, Miss Navia, and Charlotte have already set off aboard Lord Leo's airship. Aracino on the street corner said, is this the Empress's new mission? I'm sorry, children. Buzzing, at the moment when Xiaotian opened the gap in time, the 7 gods of the parallel Tivat continent disappeared instantly, equally disappearing are people's memories of them. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Kori is not afraid, Kori has a bouncing bomb. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaotian continued typing on the keyboard. The protagonist's name is Ying and Kong, and they are siblings. The siblings were stopped by the Heavenly Righteousness Maintainer while leaving Tivat. After a fierce battle, the Maintainer summoned a dark red square and attacked the two of them. Kong hurriedly put down his sword and waved his flexible golden wings to hide backwards, empty but unable to retreat, engulfed by a chain of dark red blocks, shrinking into a small cube in the hands of the Maintainer. A fierce blow from behind the air deter Maintainer. After a huge explosion, black and red blocks attacked, her empty hand was engulfed, and the rapidly proliferating blocks engulfed her whole body. Wait, don't leave, take my sister. Her words abruptly came to an end. Blue Star Bullet Screen, brother and sister were originally able to fly, and their strength was also super strong. I feel like they can fight back and forth with the seven gods. At this point, my younger sister already had an Tivat flower on her head. The maintainer of heavenly principles is equivalent to the manager of the world. Where can we defeat them? My younger sister has a crying voice here, and she's a bit angry. Parallel Tivat Chin. Is that your sister? Nodding empty, the scene of the previous battle with the Heavenly Righteousness Maintainer is vividly remembered. Chin instinctively looked at Kelly sitting next to her as her siblings engaged in a fight with the Heavenly Righteousness Keeper, watching her trembling and carefully holding Koli in her arms. Are you afraid, Kelly? Kori shook her head and said, I'm not afraid. Kori has a bouncing bomb, so she blew up all the bad guys. So if my sister encounters bad guys, she should call Kori to help. Thank you. Kelly looked at her innocent face and smiled gently. Abito is writing something in his notebook, muttering words in his mouth. The blocks used by the maintainer do not belong to the basic elements of the Tivat continent and seem to have the ability to devour, so further attention is needed. Anbai's face showed envy and said, even though I have seen it many times, I still feel that the empty light wings are too delicate and can fly flexibly in the air. It's really enviable. Kong smiled and said, the wind wing made by Amber is also great, I really like it. Hey. Really? Of course, thanks to the wind wing you gave me. Stare for a moment and look at the Heavenly Principle Maintainer on the screen. Looking at Ganyu and Kuqing beside me in a moment, she deeply felt the weakness of Liyue's defense. I thought to myself that no matter what, I must further enhance Liyue's combat power, although Liyue is really in danger against such an enemy, but we still need to work hard. Liyue's spine is what they hold up. So, the unfamiliar deity took away my sister, and I was also sealed by the deity, losing my original strength. We, who have crossed many worlds before, are trapped here. How many years ago was that? I don't know, but I will find a way to figure it out. After waking up, I always wander alone until I met you 2 months ago. Parmon continued, well, it was thanks to you at that time. Otherwise, I would have drowned. So, I will try my best to be a good guide. It's time to set off, let's go. The scene is frozen in the air, using a fishing hook to catch the fainting Parmon out of the water. Blue Star Bullet Screen. When telling this story, my younger sister had tears in her eyes and felt so sorry. World-famous paintings. The best emergency food. Pay attention to Parmon's small movements. Her eyes dodged, she was lying. Don't you know how to fly, Parmon? How did you fall into the sea? Be careful of the uninhabited island on the opposite side, the territory before time, and another mission point of Sure and Fong. Parallel Tivat Abito pondered and said, the power of the maintainer is a seal, but the possibility of devouring it cannot be ruled out. Xiangling's eyes lit up and she said, the screen says the small floating object next to her is emergency food. Can she eat it? Kong shook his head and said, she's my friend. Hu Tao asked, but we haven't seen that little guy next to Kong before, have we? The empty expression is dim. It seems like a story about sacrifice, said Hatchet Shinko with an ambiguous expression. Starting from the falling star mountain valley, Kong and Pai Meng marched forward together. A gray statue stands in the center of the starry lake in the distance, and the red-roofed city of Mond in the distance. Pai Meng said, "Wow, that's the 7 heavenly god statue." The statues of gods are scattered across the continent, symbolizing the 7 gods' protection of the world. Among the 7 elemental deities, this one controls the wind. Although I'm not sure if you're looking for the wind god, there's a reason why I brought you to the wind god's territory first. As we all know, language and poetry sway with the wind, and there will definitely be news of your sister among them. Of course, the only way to know if you can receive a response from God is by trying. So, hurry up. Blue Star Bullet screamed, "No, Parmon can fly. How did he fall into the sea? Welcome to Mond, traveler. May the wind god deceive you. I thought Fengshen was some kind of big shot, but Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. When Kelly went to fry fish, she didn't see anything. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Parallel Tivat Bennett scratched his head and said, "I passed by Starry Lake during my adventure and haven't seen the statue in the middle." Kori nodded and agreed. When Kori went to fry fish, she didn't see any statues either. Kelly. Chin looked serious and warned, "Don't throw bombs casually in the future. After going out, go to the confinement room to reflect." Captain Chin, Kelly knows she's wrong. Since the 7 gods correspond to the 7 kingdoms, then there would also be such a ruler in Liyue. Chin sneered, "We don't need lofty gods. Human affairs should be done by humans themselves. Liyue does not have a similar deity statue, Danyu is very certain. Liyue only has a statue of the sacrificial immortal Yiksha and the Millennium Army, which are the sacrifices we should remember." Barbara was curious and said, "What kind of god is the wind god?" Fisher said, "She must have the supreme authority of heaven and earth, just like this princess, to bring glory to the world." The empty expression was bitter, but she didn't say anything. She knew that forgetting was not their voluntary choice. Pai Meng. You can swim over directly. At the suggestion of Parmon, Sky, swimming to the island in the middle of Starry Lake, stepped forward to examine the towering statue of the 7 heavenly gods. He reached out to touch the statue, and a green light was awakened, illuminating the precious beads held in the statue's hands. The precious pearl cast a light cluster with wind element imprints, spreading around the empty side, and his clothing carried a hint of empty light. Pai Meng. Oh, have you felt the elements of this world? It seems that as long as you touch the statue, you can gain the elemental power of the wind. People in this world cannot gain power as easily as you can. Kong. The source of this power is indeed Pai Meng. Because you're not originally from this world. Blue Star Bullet screen, resonance with wind elements. As long as you don't lose your nobility, the world will unfold for you. The drums here sound like heartbeat. The heartbeat here should be resonating with the earth's pulse through the statue, the heartbeat of the earth. The wind brings the seeds of the story, time makes it sprout. Parallel Tivat Abido continued to analyze, the fact that one can resonate with the elements of Tivat without relying on any objects only indicates the similarity in their power. Can power be obtained so easily? The Shunli Lingren looked at the traveler. Fengyuan Wanye rubbed his chin with his hand and said, "The wind brings the seeds of the story, time makes it sprout." Pai Meng. From here, heading west will lead you to the free city of Mond. Mond is a city of wind, and it is the wind god worshipped among the 7 gods. Will you, who can gain power from the statue, find clues to the gods there? Moreover, Mond has many minstrels, maybe he can hear about your sister. Okay, then let's go. The elements of this world have responded to the prayer, I think this is a good omen. Blue Star Bullet screen, target the bard from the beginning. I feel like Pai Meng knows a lot, but his background is just a mystery. I actually found a singer to sell. Parallel Tivat Beidou patted Wanye's shoulder and said, "It seems like you have some connection with Mond City." Wanye replied, I am more adaptable to the wind and waves at sea than in a stable city. Six-Finger Joseph said, although I say so, I haven't heard from the traveler's sister before. Another bard agreed, indeed, the origins of the traveler and his sister are too mysterious. Six Fingers Joseph. It's not impossible to write poetry now. Ba Chong Shensi smiled slightly and said, writing in light novels can spread more widely. Tian Tizui refused to be outdone and said, it's better to say that storytelling is more popular among the audience. The books I'm talking about are invincible in the world. The traveler and Parmon went deep into the forest, but noticed something unusual ahead and hid behind the tree to check the situation. A blue and green giant dragon perched on the roadside. Standing in front of the dragon stood a young man in green, gently comforting the dragon, don't be afraid. Don't worry, I'm back. Parmon. He's talking to the dragon. The wind element on the empty body suddenly became active, stimulating the dragon. The giant dragon roared at the young man, waving its claws. The young man dodged the attack and said with a stern expression, who? The dragon began to stir, and the young man in green transformed into an empty light that disappeared instantly. The giant dragon also waved its wings and flew towards the sky. Blue Star Bullet screamed, a beautiful dragon like a gem and a gentle bard. The power of the wind element reacted when it met the wind god himself. I don't understand why Wendy is a girl. Her eyes are all on the soles of her feet, so cute she must be a boy. Wendy's gaze here is a bit murderous. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Who is the young man in green in Chapter 4? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Blue Star Bullet screen, you should know that Mond used to be a mountainous area, flattened by Barbados. Who dares to underestimate the power of the demon god? Lord Barbados, I am your most loyal follower. Wendy's gaze was terrifying at first, but she never showed that expression again in the plot. Don't question the strength of the seven gods, they are all the top pure beings in the demon god war, and can use elemental power without the need for God's eye. Parallel Tivat, isn't this Tevlin? That boy is the wind god. Qin was somewhat surprised, and her gaze fell on the adult version of Tuolin. Do you still remember that boy? Tevlin shook his head and said, I have never had such a person in my impression before. Lisa covered her lips with her hand and said, I can't believe that the deity would look like a teenager. Amber was surprised and said, isn't Mon's terrain naturally formed? The eye of God. Kaya whispered the unfamiliar word. Abito explained, it should be the same as the elemental force converter we are currently using, so that elemental forces can be driven. Kong sighed lightly, and in parallel Tivat, the seven gods fell behind, and the eye of the gods also disappeared. Abito collaborated with scholars from other countries to develop an elemental force converter, which is similar in function to the eye of God. Pai Meng. It's so close, almost blown away. Fortunately, I grabbed your hair tightly, thank you. Kong. Fortunately, my hair hasn't fallen out. Pai Meng. What happened just now? I thought I was going to be eaten. It must be related to that strange person talking to the dragon. Kong. In this world, there are actually dragons. Parmon. I understand your concern. Hey. What's that? There's something shining red on that big stone. Let's get closer and take a look. Start investigating what Parmon discovered. Parmon. Be careful. It gives me a bad feeling. I've never seen such a stone before, so I can't be sure what it is. I can only tell that it's very dangerous. Let's keep it safe for now. It's all recycled. Let's get out of here quickly. Blue Star Bullet screen, generally speaking, if it's very dangerous, it's better not to take it. Danger and keep safe. The strangest thing in this world is probably Parmon, right? I've never seen a second life form like this before. Being in the radiation doesn't know what radiation is. Parallel Tivat Abito didn't forget to remind Kelly, don't touch unfamiliar things casually in the future, otherwise Kelly will get hurt, and Abito's sister will also be sad. Kori nodded and said, okay, Kori knows. She will definitely not make Abito's sister sad. Empty, don't come into contact with dangerous things casually in the future, Qin cautioned anxiously. Hu Tao's eyes rolled and he said, it looks like there's something wrong with that little thing. He just wanted to increase my performance and happened to catch up with the half-price discount on the second tablet. Kong and Pai Meng continued forward with confusion, when a light and graceful girl suddenly appeared in front of them, blocking the way. May the wind god bless you, stranger. Amber. I am Amber, a reconnaissance knight of the Westwind Knights. You are not a citizen of Mond, are you? So, please explain your identity. Parmon. Calm down, we're not suspicious people. Amber. Suspicious people would say that. Kong. Hello, I'm Kong. Amber. It doesn't sound like a local name. And what's wrong with this mascot? Empty. It's emergency food. Parmon. It's completely wrong. How could it not be as good as a mascot? Blue Star bullet screen, it's Angel Amber. Naming scenes. Parmon's angry expression is so cute. Parallel Tivat Amber reacted and said, so it's this time. Lisa chuckled lightly and said, the little one next to the traveler is quite cute. What's her name? Parmon. Amber. In short, it's a traveler, right? There are dragons around Mond recently, so it's better for you to enter the city as soon as possible. It's not far from Mond here, so I, as a knight, will escort you on the way. Pai Meng. Hey. Don't you have any other tasks when you leave the city? Amber. Of course there is, but don't worry, we will also ensure your safety on the mission. And I can't just leave suspicious people unattended. Kong. It seems that you don't trust us very much. Blue Star bullet screen, a sneaky stranger. Amber is really responsible. Yeah, and as a rabbit ear girl, she has helped travelers a lot. Fire archers, as well as summoners, are also super useful when decrypting in the early stages. Parallel Tivat Eula snorted lightly and said, even if you go on a mission, don't call me. I'll take note of this grudge. Amber explained, I can handle this small matter alone, and besides, you also had your own task at that time. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Hello, I am from the Westwind Knights. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaotian continued to write. Amber. Who? Impolite, this is not a proper word for an excellent knight. I apologize to you, a stranger and respectable traveler. Pai Meng. What a stiff speech. Amber. Do you have any dissatisfaction with the standardized language in our knight's guide? Hey, travelers of unknown origin, what are you doing in Mond? Pai Meng said, Kong got separated from her sister on a very, very distant journey. I am her travel companion and I am accompanying him in search of her sister. Amber. Oh, look for someone to go home. By the way, once I finish the task at hand, I can help you put up signs in the city. Pai Meng. Speaking of which, what task was it? Amber. It's very simple. You'll understand when you read it later. Blue Star bullet screen. Amber is so kind. She made the first wing of the wind in the city's missing person notice. I really like Angel Amber, she's so kind. Amber really did what she said. Parallel Tivat Barbara. It looks like everyone really likes Amber. Amber scratched his head awkwardly and said, Mon City's idols are also very popular among everyone. Upon learning that Amber's mission to leave the city this time was to deal with the wandering hills outside the city, Calm also came to help. Amber. Don't let it go. Recently, these monsters in the wilderness are approaching the city. My task this time is to clean up their campsite. The two quickly eliminated the wandering Xiaotian people. Amber. Huh, it's a piece of cake. But I didn't expect you to be a passerby without combat ability. Thank you for your support just now. How did you feel about this battle? Empty. Easy and easy. Pai Meng. Speaking of which, how did the Xiaotian people appear here? These creatures usually don't establish campsites so close to the city, do they? Amber. Yeah. They should only be wandering in the wilderness. But recently, wind demon dragons have frequently appeared, orchards have been destroyed, and commercial routes have also been affected. When storms break out, people often get injured. So the knights need to be distracted and defend. Pai Meng. So these annoying creatures are getting closer and closer in range. Amber. Yes, but I cleaned up another campsite today and still gained a lot. Come with me. A serious and responsible knight will escort you into the city. With your help, the trouble will be resolved quickly. Blue Star bullet screen, the Xiaotian people were demoted indigenous people. Do you understand Parmon very well, so where exactly do you come from? A portion of the Xiaotian people were indigenous to Canria and wandered throughout the continent after the disaster. Parallel Tivat was lost in thought, what caused the Xiaotian people to be related to the indigenous people of Tivat? It's a curse from heaven, replied the cold voice. When civilization reaches a certain stage of development, natural law will bring various disasters to prevent it, and this is just one of the means. Not long ago, a disaster struck the seven kingdoms again, and it was the seven gods who ultimately perished together with the heavenly principles in exchange for the safety and well-being of the Tivat continent. Qin frowned and said, unfortunately, I have no relevant memories at all. Ganyu also looked bewildered and said, but I only remember the wars between humans and Warcraft over the past 3,000 years. Has anything more terrifying happened? Amber's expression was not very attractive and he said, did we make a mistake when we were fighting at Xiaotian? Yura comforted her and said, you're not wrong. The knights are here to protect everyone in Mond and live freely. Kong sighed softly, the people of Xiaotian have only returned to the earth's veins, which is also a kind of liberation for them. Under the leadership of Amber, Konoha Paimon arrived at the free city state, Mond. In the picture, Mond's iconic building Windmill appears, passing through the street, bypassing the fountain square, and finally stopping in front of the huge statue of the wind god. The camera zoomed in, and the hooded Function's eyes closed tightly, his expression calm and serene. He lifted his hands forward, as if picking up a gust of wind, his back and wings spread out towards the sky. Then the camera zoomed in, revealing the entire city of Mond from high altitude. Blue Star bullet screen, the place where the dream started was truly stunning at that time. The statue, like Wendy, has two cute little braids. This really indicates that the green guy just now is the god of wind. Someone has studied that the pedestal of the statue is engraved with Road to Sky Island, so the later stage must be very important. Lord Barbados, I am your loyal follower. Parallel Tivat Kelly was very excited and said, wow, the statue is really beautiful. If Kelly had such big wings, she would definitely be able to fly higher. Qin held on to the restless Koli with a furrowed brow and said, but there isn't such a statue in Mond City. In front of the church is a huge wind field to ensure that the wind in Mond City doesn't stop flowing. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. After the disappearance of the seven gods, the miracles no longer exist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Parallel Tivat Lisa looked at the sky and said, from the few words left in the bullet comments, it can be inferred that the miracle no longer exists after the disappearance of the 7 gods. Abito touched his chin and said, what's needed to climb to Sky Island is not just the breeze of Mon City. This wind god statue is not simple, and if it's still worth studying. Amber. Let me formally introduce the pastoral city of the wind and dandelions, the capital of freedom, and the travelers protected by the Knights of the West Wind. Welcome to Mon City. Pai Meng. Finally, there's no need to camp in the wilderness. However, everyone in the city is not in good spirits. Amber. Because the whole city has been worrying about the wind demon dragon recently. But with Qin here, everything will be fine. Pai Meng. Qin. Amber. The acting leader of the Westwind Knights. Qin. The guardian of Mond. With Qin, we can overcome even disasters at the level of wind demon dragons. Kong. I hope she can know about the wind god. Blue Star bullet screen, Mon City and Liyue Port are not the original ones. Old Mond is the ruins of the wind dragon, while Old Liyue is in the Galiji. Surprisingly, it is said that the relatives of the wind god are disasters. Qin is one of the 4 winds guardians, with the other 3 being the Grand Commander Farga, the Knights of the West Wind, and Tuolin. The captain led the main force on an expedition. The Westwind Knights' order is the Westwind Eagle. Parallel Tivat. The information revealed by the barrage was too complicated, and the Mond people were a bit agitated. Lisa pondered and said, it is indeed mentioned in the old Mond's history books, but the language is vague. It seems that we need to study it carefully. Keqing also saw the barrage related to Liyue with a serious expression. According to historical records, the Gili indigenous people were destroyed by war, and Liyue Port was originally built south of Tianheng Mountain. Is there such a connection? Barbara looked at the captain and said, but the captain has been guarding Mon City all along. Falga shook his head and said, I don't have any memories of expeditions. If I had to lead the main force of Mond on an expedition, there must have been a lot of trouble. Amber. By the way, before we go to the Knights' headquarters together, I have a gift to give to Kong. It was just a reward for helping me clean up the Xiaotian camp. Pai Meng. Everyone has a share. Why don't I have a gift? Amber. Because that's something that Pai Meng can't use. But tonight I will treat you to Mon's special honey sauce and fried pork with carrots. Pai Meng. Fried pork with honey sauce and carrot. Amber. Let's come with me now. We're going to a high place in the city. Kong and Pai Meng went to the location instructed by Amber. Amber. So, the agreed gift is the wings of the wind. Scout Knights rely on it to operate in the sky, and the citizens of Mond also enjoy using it. I specifically called you here to make you feel its benefits in the first place. Pai Meng. It's a tone of enthusiastic recommendation. Amber. Because the wind is Mond's soul. Alright, come and try the performance of wind wings now. Although it's easy to operate, you must follow my instructions. Blue Star bullet screen, when it comes to eating Pai Meng, I completely forget who I am. I'm afraid she will immediately agree to sell him in exchange for food. How can we stop when a new storm has emerged? Please show me your business license. Do not imitate dangerous actions. Parallel Tivat. Seeing the barrage mentioning Parmon, the usual smile on an empty face couldn't be lifted, the tone was very light, very light. Parmon, she likes honey sauce, carrot, and fried meat the most. Kong and Amber arrived at the fountain square on the wings of the wind. The originally clear sky suddenly darkened, and the strong wind was raging. The blue-green dragon attacked the city of Mond, and people scattered and fled. The giant dragon summoned a tornado from the dark vortex in the sky to destroy the city. The empty movement slowed down a step and was swept into the sky by the dark tornado. He immediately unfolded the wings of the wind, but the dragon came towards him again, and he hurriedly dodged. Pai Meng. Ha! Can wings of the wind still stay in the sky for such a long time? Mysterious voice. I let the 1,000-year-old flowing wind help you, so that you won't fall. Now imagine that you can restrain this strand of wind and let it break through the clouds. Parmon. Who is this voice? With the help of a mysterious voice, Kong temporarily repelled the dragon. Blue Star bullet screen. If it weren't for Amber sending the wings of the wind, it would have fallen into emergency food now. You have skillfully repelled the Xiaotian people, now let's fight a dragon boss. High energy warning ahead. Take the opportunity to fly to Sky Island and kill Tianli, okay? Tuolan's mind has been eroded, and it mistakenly thought Wendy had abandoned him, so it may not have listened much to Wendy anymore. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Sorry, I don't have this memory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Parallel Tivat. The Mond people did not expect that there was still a period of time left for Tevelin, who had been guarding Mond. They all looked at Tevelin, who had transformed into a human. Tuolan. Although I don't have this memory, I sincerely apologize for my actions and have caused you trouble. The barrage is not meant to be, it's because your mind has been eroded, it's not your intention, there's no need to apologize. Yes, Lord Tuolan has been guarding Mond for so long, and we are very grateful to you. Lisa chuckled lightly and said, you're really a free deity. Qin agreed and said, it's really an honor for Mond to have such a wind god. The air slowly slid down in the air, and Amber quickly ran over to check his condition. Amber. Are you okay? Shaking your head in the air indicates that you are unharmed. As the camera turned, Kaya walked towards them, clapping her hands. Kaya. You actually have the power to fight against dragons. Are you our guest or a new storm? Blue Star bullet screen. To be honest, at first glance, I thought this appearance and walking posture were antagonists. This greeting is exactly the opposite of the knight's code of conduct. Amber, Kaya, and Lisa all used the terms foreign people that cannot be used in the knight's rules. Parallel Tivat. Kelly understood the meaning of villain on the barrage and quickly said, Brother Kaya is a good person. Kaya's heart warmed and she smiled slightly at her. Thank you, Kelly. Qin. Amber, Kaya, Lisa, I think it's necessary for you to study the rules of the knights well. Amber stuck out his tongue. Amber. The wind demon dragon has started to directly attack the interior of the city. Kaya, Kong, you came just in time. Let's hurry, Kaya. Wait, Amber. Are there still people here who haven't had a chance to get to know each other? Amber. Ah. Okay. This is Kaya, our cavalry captain. These two are travelers from afar, Kong and Pai Meng. Kaya. Do you only know it's far away? Amber. The thing is, Amber explained the truth to Kaya. Kaya. I see, welcome to Mond. But unfortunately, it is at such a bad time that I understand the pain of blood separation, traveler. Also, although I don't know why you're looking for Feng Shen, everyone has their own secrets, right? I won't ask further questions. In short, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to you on behalf of the knights. Kong. So what about the thank that you gift? Kaya. Mon's signature honey sauce carrot fried meat. Kong. I have just heard this sentence. Kaya. The battle against the wind demon dragon just now was witnessed by the guarded citizens with their own eyes. The acting captain is also very interested in both of them and hopes to have a meeting at the headquarters of the knights. Blue Star bullet screen. Kaya is one of those people who have a lot of cunning and scheming, so he is particularly wary of travelers. Attention here. Kaya is a survivor of Canria. Blood separation, it's a knife. It's careless. Kaya's blood relatives here should refer to Canria, and have nothing to do with Diluc's family. Kaya's homeland has fallen, and she has also fallen out with her brother. Law. Parallel Tivat Diluc looked at his brother. Law, no wonder he always felt like he had forgotten something. Although they had never separated, there was always a seemingly invisible barrier that existed. It turned out that he was missing a memory. As the eyes of exploration gathered more and more, Kaya spread her hands and said, "Just now, the traveler also said that bullet comments may not be trustworthy, and I don't have any relevant memories myself. It's not just what others say." Kelly noticed Kaya's unfavorable situation and repeatedly said, "Brother Kaya is a good person." Chin. As everyone can see, Kaya has never done anything harmful to Mond. You can't doubt the knight who guards everyone just because of a few words from others. Amber agreed, Kaya is a very responsible person. Please have your own judgment and don't blindly follow others. Diluc said, I assure you with the honor of Legendard that Kaya has never done anything to harm Mond. With so many people talking to Kaya, it's hard for those who have objections to say anything more. Kaya looked around, restrained her estranged and polite smile, and said seriously, "Thank you all, I won't disappoint your trust." Kaya entered the headquarters of the Westwind Knights with her group and recounted the story. Chin. Mond welcomes you, travelers who come with the wind. I am acting team leader Chin. This is Lisa, the librarian of the Knights. Lisa. Oh, is it because of a shortage of manpower that the kind-hearted child came to help? It's really cute. However, the timing was not very opportune as the Wind Demon Dragon has been active around the city since its recovery, creating chaos. Now the flow of elements and the circulation of the Earth's veins in Mond have become like tangled threads caught by cats. For wizards, this is the worst situation, as their skin and mood will deteriorate. Chin. If you weren't disturbed by these things, the Knights would have had a better way to help you than a missing person notice. Please stay temporarily in Mond now, and let us, the Westwind Knights, work hard to solve the problem. Kong. It can't just bother the Knights. Parmon. Parmon will also help. Kaya. So, let's decide on the battle plan. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Surprisingly called me Aunt Lisa. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Blue Star bullet screen, Captain Farga is not in Mond, so he is the acting captain. Aunt Lisa is a good person. Although Kaya is the captain of the cavalry, her job is as Mond's spy leader. Can she leave casually? Tuolin just wanted people to recognize him and accept him as an ally who suffered serious injuries after the bloody battle between Mond and the Demon Dragon. Parmon's sentence is not simple. Parallel Tivat Lisa had already seen the words, Auntie, with her sharp eyes, smiling insincerely, and the purple thunderball in her hand making a sizzling sound. If you let me know which guy lacks etiquette, hee. Sister Lisa is so scary, Koli hid in Chin's arms. Tuolin, thank you very much for everything you have done for Mond. Thank you for your effort, we won't forget it. Kelly also said, Brother Tuolin is a good dragon. Chin. The attack of the Wind Demon Dragon on Mond actually gave us an opportunity to end the source of the disaster. Under Lisa's magical detection, the hurricane that enveloped Mond has exposed its source. Kaya. Oh. So what is the answer? Lisa. The abandoned Four Winds Guardian Temple. The Wind Demon Dragon was able to stir up such a level of storm by leveraging the remaining power. Chin. And our goal is to build 3 of these 4 abandoned temples. Parmon. I don't understand. Empty. This may be a tacit understanding among the locals. Chin. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not too late. The storm is raging, and passive defense is meaningless. Before the dragon disaster expands, let's take the lead and move towards the ruins of abandoned temples. Blue Star bullet screen. Currently, only Tuolin is a member of the Wind God's family, while the others are knights or individuals. The earlier period of Mond is unknown, and it is possible that they were actually 4 dependents. There have always been temples in Xifeng, but Dongfenglong's temple is his own and has been burned down, so cleaning it up is useless. Parallel Tivat Kelly poked her head out of Qin's embrace and looked curiously at Abito. Does Abito know? Abito. If Lily wants to know, I can tell you. Ningguang looked at Tuolin sitting in front of Mond and said having such a family member is definitely not easy for Fengshen. Kong saw Amber waiting in front of the temple gate of the Westwind Eagle. Amber. That's it, one of the abandoned 4 Winds Guardian temples. These temples have been abandoned for many years, and the people of Mond will not come at all. Maybe there will be wild beasts building nests inside, or the people of Chuchio building campsites. Sigh. After all, even the Wind Demon Dragon himself has given up his temple. Kong. You said Wind Demon Dragon. Amber. Yes, although I am also reluctant to accept it, the Wind Demon Dragon was once one of the 4 Winds Guardians. Pai Meng. Hey. Amber. Let's not mention these for now. Do you feel it? There's something wrong with the wind here. Let's go inside and take a look. Be careful, the power of the dragon is affecting here. Blue Star bullet screen. There is a reason why the Wind Demon Dragon gave up its temple, as you can see from a later look. Amber's idea is the shared feeling of the Mon people who know the true identity of the Wind Demon Dragon. The former 4 Winds Guardians. Amber is not simple, he is a hybrid of Liyue and Mond. Her missing father may still have a role to play. Parallel Tivat. The crowd's gaze was once again on Tevelin, as he had no relevant memories. He could only awkwardly scratch his head, helplessly stating that he also knew nothing about it. Qin. Those 3 temples do exist within the territory of Mond, but they have been completely abandoned and cannot be accessed. Bennett. But last time I went on an adventure, I accidentally got in and almost couldn't get out. Barbara. No wonder you were injured so badly once. It must be very dangerous inside, right? Lisa. Is there a special seal there? Kong and Amber arrived at the end of the temple together. Amber. Ha. It's really exhausting. However, this way, we can share some of the hardships for the head of the piano team. Previously, our defense forces could at least maintain the safety of the city. Simply put, it is mainly because there is a Qin present. But now the Wind Demon Dragon has directly attacked the interior of Mond. The wind direction has changed, and our strategy will also change accordingly. Kong. It sounds very philosophical. Amber. This is what Lisa likes to say. By the way, if you want to know about the past history of the 4 Winds protection topic we talked about earlier, you can also ask Lisa. First of all, it's not because I'm not good at history. The knowledge reserve of a librarian is generally more complete than that of a scout knight, right? Blue Star bullet screen. The main members of the Xifeng Knights have all set out, so acting Captain Qin is really tough. I have no choice but to come to her for all the big and small matters in Mon City. But the wind always changes direction. It can be seen from here that everyone in the Knights Order has absolute trust in Qin, the acting captain. Qinming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Qin, you worked hard. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Parallel Tivat Farga looked at Qin with admiration and said, You did a great job, it's been hard. Qin subconsciously replied, Let the wind guide you. Speaking fluently, she was stunned. It was clear that this sentence had never been in her memory. Why is it so familiar? Amber. Mon's people can see the hard work of Qin. Thank you for always guarding Mon. Lisa. You still need to take a break when you have time. Qin, health is the foundation of work. Yeah, Mon and all of us don't have to carry it alone. Kong met Kaya at the entrance of the Temple of the Wolf of the North Wind. Kaya. You're here. Here, get closer. Do you smell it? Empty. I didn't smell it. Kaya. Something happened in this temple. Slim, the Choo-Choo people, and the magical connection left by the Wind Demon Dragon. Huh, it must be very lively inside. Empty. Will it be very dangerous? Kaya. It's lively, but it's not dangerous. What a pity, the Temple of the Wolf of the North Wind has been disturbed like this now. Let's go, although the four winds are no longer worshipped, the ancient wind will not dissipate now. I need to help Four Winds Guard clean up the environment. Blue Star Bullet scream, Kaya is truly mysterious and mysterious. My nose is really agile. It's really lively inside, enjoying both ice and fire. The temple guarded by the Four Winds, which has been forgotten, is now occupied by monsters. It's too sad. Parallel Tivat Lisa. If you have the opportunity, you still need to go and see the situation in person. Bennett, do you want to go with your sister? Sister can protect you. Bennett nodded and said, the last time I fainted inside, I came out inexplicably. I really wanted to explore it carefully, so I wanted to trouble you. But I'm unlucky, so if you encounter danger, it's better to stay as far away as possible. Reese looked at his two Lupikas and said urgently, there, it's dangerous, go. Lisa chuckled lightly and said, it's okay. I will protect my little friend and trust my master. Enter the temple. Kaya. So, let me show you the tactics of the knights. Traveler, it seems that you don't have the eye of God, do you? How on earth do you use the power of elements? Parmon. It's a very mysterious phenomenon. Kaya. Speaking of which, do you know? The Wind Demon Dragon was also one of the Four Winds Guardians in the past. I'm not quite sure about the detailed situation. If you're interested, let the acting team leader tell you a story. Blue Star Bullet scream, don't play dumb, don't think I don't know you know. Simply put, the traveler himself can be seen as a walking divine eye. How come Amber doesn't know history, and Kaya, you little boy, doesn't even know when you ask? From this, it can be seen that Mon needs to strengthen historical education. Parallel Tivat Amber stuck out his tongue and said, Scout Knights naturally have less understanding of history than librarians. Qin Fui said, the barrage makes sense. It seems like it's time to include Mon's history in the assessment of the knights. Ah. Don't wow. It was already very difficult to enter the Knight's Order from my side, but with the addition of Monster, I really have no hope. Kaya frowned and said, but some of the history about Mon has been deliberately erased. Aren't we reminiscing about Mon's history with the help of travelers? Qin. Indeed, it's because I didn't consider it carefully. Kaya. Oh. It's really exciting. It turns out that your excellency is a well-trained warrior. The battles along the way in the temple just now were truly eye-opening. Empty. You are flattering me. Kaya. Ha ha ha. I already possess the humble character of a knight. Your heroic act of saving Mond will surely spread throughout the City of Freedom in the future. If you have time in the future, please come to the headquarters of the Knights for a chat. Well, or do I also know a good tavern? Blue Star Bullet scream, Kaya's starry eyes are really beautiful. In Kaya's eyes, travelers are indeed children, teasing people from the beginning. Seemingly friendly to everyone, but in reality, it's a hard ice that no one can melt. Also tidy up your clothes and dust off, there's a peacock like that. Barbara and Jean, Kaya and Dine's characters' eyes and identities are related. Parallel Tivat Kaya has become accustomed to the inquisitive gaze of others, with a polite smile on her face. Kelly has been paying attention to him all along, loudly saying, Kaya and Abito have the same beautiful eyes. Abito. Diane. This name. Thinking of his former travel companion, he explained, Dainslibe was the last sword of the last court guard of Canria. After Canria's downfall, he was cursed with immortality and wandered the wilderness. Abito and Kaya frowned. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Diluc's charming appearance. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Kaya asked the traveler to leave first, then smiled and let out a soft snort. Kaya. I was just thinking, with the intelligence of the people of Chocho, how could they have thought of a premeditated ambush? It turns out you are causing trouble. A water system abyss mage appeared in front of him, waving his scepter and reciting a spell before launching an attack. A few strands of meteor-like flames rushed through the door, and Diluc appeared from the flames, grabbing the head of the abyss mage and throwing it fiercely at the ground. The abyss mage rolled around a few times, but before he could react, Diluc swung his big sword towards it and it fell into the corner. Diluc. Knights, the efficiency of doing things is really low. Kaya. It's okay. Since you are also involved, the matter becomes even more interesting. Blue Star bullet screen. At the moment when Diluc and Kaya were in the same frame, I could see Kaya laughing. Although they were sworn brothers, their relationship was really good. Kaya's expression softened instantly when she faced her brother, and her eyes were big, so amazing. Diluc, a handsome red-haired man wielding a large sword with one hand. At that time, I thought Diluc was also using a one-handed sword. This abyssal mage is really miserable. He was pinched and thrown aside, and even thrown into a corner. It is indeed very tragic, extremely tragic. Parallel Tivat Chin. Senior, you are really very responsible. Kaya's yin-yang monster said, Mr. Diluc is so amazing. I also want to thank you for your kindness. Diluc gave him a faint glance and said, bored. I met Lisa at the Temple of the Lion of the South Wind. Lisa. Ah, little cutie. It's really touching that you came to help with such a dangerous matter. If there is anything you don't understand during this period, you can come and ask your sister. Empty. What is the main responsibility of a librarian? Lisa. Well, that's a good question. Basically, it's something beyond physical and mental work. Parmon. So what kind of thing is left? Blue Star bullet screen. So, besides physical and mental labor, is there anything else in the world? Does Xiaotian count in the front? Simply put, it means fishing. Obato's fishing symptoms have been transmitted from person to person. Parallel Tivat Lisa. It seems like I have a lot of conversation with Fengshen. So what is a librarian only responsible for? Kori raised her little hand excitedly and said, Kori knows, yes. Chin immediately stopped her words. After entering the temple, Kong chatted with Lisa while eliminating the monster. Lisa. Let me take it a little more seriously too. What is this gem on my neck? I don't know. Are you asking seriously? This is the Eye of God, a device chosen by people to export elemental power. From a mystical perspective, it can also be said to be an external magical organ. I haven't even seen the Eye of God. Where exactly do you come from? Is it a Chocho person who suddenly mutated into normal intelligence? Never mind, after all, the people of Chocho are just low-witted monsters that cannot even be a bard, while you are a good child with almost the ability to be a mage. Blue Star bullet screen. Although neither the protagonist nor the gods have divine eyes. That is to say, a minstrel can be anyone who is not a Chocho person. Obato's cursed. Wendy. I didn't provoke any of you. Babados. You may not believe it, but I have been scolded by my own people. Wendy said she was offended. Parallel Tivat 6-finger Joseph. Hey. Why is that so? It's not easy to be a bard, okay? Lisa covered her lips with her hand and said, I don't think that free deity will blame me. Abito caught the key point and said, the eye of God. What would be the principle for deriving elemental power from such a simple gem? Kelly's eyes were filled with envy. Kelly also wants a sparkling divine eye. Alright, when I get back to Mond, I'll make one for Kori, said Abito indulgently. Lisa. The dragon of the east wind, the lion of the south wind, the wolf of the north wind, and the eagle of the west wind. They are guardians of the wind of the four directions of Mond and are also relatives of the wind god Babados. Tuolin, this is the name of the wind demon dragon. Before being called the magic dragon by people, it was once the Dongfeng dragon in the four winds guardians. This is the reason why Tuolin can only borrow from three sides in the power of the four winds. From the beginning, it was already burning itself out. Empty. Why does it do this? I think it's because of hatred. Parmon. Hate. Lisa. It's a hatred towards Mond. Driven by hatred and using it as a stronger force than the wind, transform into a magic dragon. Pai Meng. But, one of the four winds guardians, why does it hate the city it should be guarding instead? Lisa. As a Mond, it's really difficult to speak on your own. Take it to see, this is a story that happened 100 years ago. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.